I just wanted to talk about the car before the event. So I have the track cross coming up with Summit Point in West Virginia, and I've done a decent amount to the car in the off time between the last one, and I really didn't film a lot of it because, well, one, I'm forgetful, and two, it was a lot of like crawling around kind of work, and it just kind of like sucks to try to film and do that work. So I'm talking about it now. I took a lot of photos, so hopefully you guys will forgive me and this will suffice. But the big ticket items were front and rear bumper support bars from Charlie. And I've already done a video on one of his bars for the other Integra, the DB2. So that was another reason why I didn't feel necessarily that I had to film it. But these are a little bit different. Well, one, I did front and rear, and the main reason was to alleviate some weight and to make the car, honestly, I think a little bit safer. Not to mention, he also included pucks welded onto both so that I have an allowance for splitter and diffuser rod attachments in the future. I'm probably gonna redo my entire front splitter setup at some point, so I'm waiting to incorporate those, but it's good that they're there. Those were the two big things, and then I kind of just kept adding stuff up when I was thinking about doing that, because the front bumper is kind of annoying to get off, and I was like, well, what else can I do while I'm in there? The rear was pretty simple, and I was just going to do the bar, and then I started thinking, and I was like, well, if I'm going to do that, I've always had in the back of my mind to do a bumper cut in the rear just to see if I noticed a difference, and my buddy has one, and it kind of just like inspired me to do it. So I found a bumper cover locally for really cheap and went and grabbed it, did the cut with a Dremel. Nothing spectacular, just used painter's tape to kind of get a straight edge on it and then Dremel it. It sucked. Dremeling was probably like 85% of what I was doing over the last month to the car. So I've just had like plastic and fiberglass in my nose kind of indefinitely. But yeah, so I took the rear bumper cover off. While I was in there, you got to see some of the damage left over from my accident when I was a teenager. I got rear-ended. That was the first time the car got totaled. So kind of got to look and see how everything's holding up back there. I had my buddy do all the repairs and re-seam sealed everything, and it doesn't look like there's any rot at all. So shout out James. Thank you for keeping the car alive and doing great work. I pulled the diffuser off, pulled all of the hardware for the diffuser off, installed the rear bumper, put the bumper cover on. Really not much to doing that. Everything's pretty obvious, especially when the interior is stripped. You just get to look at all the bolts, so nothing too difficult. As for the front, it was kind of a different story. I was thinking about just doing the headlights needed a restore, so I knew that I was going to do that, and then I randomly came across this pair of Duraflex vented fenders on Facebook like the week of when I was starting all of this. I kind of gambled on them, so I went and picked them up for really cheap. I think I paid $200 for them. Brought them home. I mean, to the naked eye, they looked great. They're primered. They're, nothing special, but having the vents is really nice, having that kind of molded into the fender and not having to do something a little bit more ghetto, like, I don't know, cutting like louvers into the fender or something. I was trying to avoid anything like that. So it's nice to have them, and then I can keep my OEM ones for a rainy day. But as I started to fit them, I started to see more and more, one, differences left to right between them, and two, just general mold flaws. The mold on both is really bad, and again, Duraflex, inexpensive. They're also very limited. They're hard to find. I don't think they made very many, so my guess is that they very quickly got backlash on how poorly they fit, or there just wasn't a demand and they discontinued them and didn't make them anymore. So there's still a couple floating on eBay if you really want to go find some, but honestly, for as much work as they were to get on there, I don't know if they're worth it. You might be better off getting like the track life cutouts or something. All that to say, I finally got them on the car. I'm not really even going to talk about all I had to do because it's so specific to those fenders. And again, unless you're running those exact fenders and are running into the same issues, running the same side skirts I'm running, all of that, it's not going to matter. So All you have to know is I did a lot of fiberglass cutting with a Dremel, and but I got them on, and while I was in there, I also redid my brake cooling duct setup. I had cooling ducts before, they just seemed pretty inefficient. Obviously, air accelerates when constricted, so my old setup actually kind of widened. It went from like a 2 to a 3 inch. So I'm not even convinced it was really getting much air to the hub area. I think most of it was just getting pulled out of the wheel or down through underneath the car. So I watched this video, and he provided a magnitude of info for doing these. I think they're Corvette air ducts. I mean, he says in the video. I don't have the video in front of me though. And then interestingly, Eric Coutil also did a video that I'll put here on his brake duct setup, and I kind of combined what I learned from both of those videos to fabricate the setup that I'm running now, and I'm hoping to see a pretty good improvement. Basically, I bought these like universal intake duct pieces from Amazon. They're really cheap, but they do the job. They're not doing anything special. So I kind of cleared out a lot of stuff off the bumper that I didn't need in terms of like bracketry for like the license plate and other stuff that's just kind of like floating around. There's also like 2 little delete plates in the bumper for fog lights as an OEM option. So I cut out anything I could that would restrict airflow, and then attached both of the intake ducts to the back of the bumper, and they fit great. I did measure it before I ordered them, so I had a general idea of how they would fit, and then ran the other pieces on the splitter, similar to what Eric did, and kind of angled them up towards the hub, and then just used like HVAC, like aluminum piping that's really cheap and easy to bend around, and attached one end to the intake ducts on the back of the bumper, and then it's a small enough diameter on the other duct that it kind of just slides in when you put the bumper cover back on, which is also great because if you need to get in there and you know, either replace just the ducting or move stuff around, nothing's like attached at that end, so all the hard to get to pieces are you know, attached, and then you know, you can move stuff in between, which is great. But so I'm hoping to see you know, at least better cooling than what I was seeing at the last event. I was experiencing what I think was a little bit of brake fade near the end. Granted, I don't even know if I'm a talented or skilled enough driver to identify brake fade yet, but regardless, that was my thought, and you know, keeping the hub and the brakes cool cannot hurt me. So it, in my mind, it was a no loss situation. But so we got the ducts on, that wasn't too bad, and did yellow tint on the lights. I was running ducts out of my fog lights, so I no longer needed to do that, and I got clear OEM fog lights again and tinted them yellow along with the headlights. Honestly, I think that was basically it. So a lot of little things, a lot of housekeeping, and oh, I flushed the transmission fluid. I think that was like the only other thing. I mean, ideally, going into the event, it would just be best case scenario is that I didn't break anything and the car works like it did last time. That would be great. But maybe even better than that is I noticed a little bit of a benefit with braking. I haven't even looked at the course layout yet, so I don't know if there's going to be a straightaway where I'll be carrying enough speed to really be able to see a difference in brake performance or not. So like I said, we'll see, but I'm looking forward to it, and I just wanted to debrief you guys on what I had done so that you don't see the car and wonder why the headlights are yellow and why the fenders don't match anymore and why the bumper's different color and all that. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm excited to get out there and get driving again. It's been a little bit of a break here, so excited, and we'll see how it goes. So until then, peace. All right, good morning. It's 6 in the morning on Saturday, July 20th. We are going to the track today. Gotta get there kind of early. 7 a.m. is when they start doing tech, and I take a lot of stuff, so I usually take about half an hour to just kind of like get everything set up. Yeah, so we're gonna be headed out here in a minute. I'll be taking you guys along with me today, so it should be fun. attic area. Currently indoors where it's a little bit cooler. I'm heats B and D, so I get a little break right at the start, which is kind of nice. But yeah, so we're all set up. Show you the little setup we got going over there with the tent and whatnot. It's pretty cozy. So looking forward to it. Feeling good. Running on very little sleep today, so kind of driving with a little more caution maybe than normal. A little bit more aware of my current mental state, but other than that, should be a fun day.
Ready?
Yep.
Go!
All right, we just got done my first heat, and we're taking lunch. And we've got they're doing like practice laps right now. You can probably see it behind me. They're all running lunch parade laps right now, and then we'll be back to another short break while Heat A runs again, and then we'll be back on. They're just running the same course in reverse. This course was pretty difficult for me, mostly because we are running opposite of standard. So a lot of the turns begin pretty wide and then narrow out a lot. So it's a lot of like really wide apexing, and I don't have a ton of experience with that. So it's been a little bit of a pretty steep learning curve. But we're getting there. So I saw pretty good improvement in my times, and nothing too scary happened. So on to the next. All right, so it's been a couple days since the event. I was so tired by the time I got home. I crashed out. So, but it was a great time. I feel like I learned a lot. The car did really well. Didn't break anything. Did have one little upset near the end of the second round. I misjudged. Well, I shouldn't say I misjudged. I extended my braking zone a little further than I should have in hindsight. It was kind of at the crest of this hill, and I thought I could extend it a little bit further, but I didn't really account for how much weight would come off the wheels as I crested the hill. So as I came over the hill, I braked and it locked the front, and I guess consequently locked the rears. I don't know, but I slid almost off track, made a big plume of smoke, scared myself a little, but now I know that I can't extend that braking zone in that turn. So, but other than that, I feel pretty happy with the results. I was really confident even after that incident, just knowing where the braking should be and adjusting and being able to learn and adjust. And I mean, that's why we do it. So other than that, I think I had a lot of really good runs. I was consistently faster and faster on both the first and the second course. So I'm hoping that I can attend the last one this the end of the summer, but I'm not sure yet. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Really appreciate you guys. Peace.
Yeah, niggas know they need to stop. I'm standing at the top, that's how I know you.